Howdy, folks, and you're listening to the Speak Up podcast. My name's Ashley, I'm your host, and I just wanted to share my story, really. My story so far, my mental health story, just for some of you that are interested. My mental health story started 5, 6 years ago in 2019. Um, I went through a lot of stress at work and experienced a lot of paranoia. Um, as well as a relationship breakdown. I was living with my partner at the time, and she kind of walked out and left. Now I don't blame her for that. She had her reasons. I don't know what those reasons were, but that's what happened, and it left me kind of broken, and it made the paranoia worse, and to the point where I ended up under the mental health team. Came back to living at my mother's in 2019, and then it was a long journey from about 2019 to 2020 where COVID hit, and we weren't allowed out, and that made things worse as well. I was depressed, anxious, lonely, didn't have many friends. Um, and then what happened was I got referred to the mental health team through my GP. This was around 2021. So I'd already suffered from mental health and depression and paranoia for that long. Tried like 7 different types of medications. I've tried citalopram, duloxetine, fluoxetine, lefipramine. I've tried beta blockers, propranolol. Um, as I say, I've tried like 7 different types of antidepressants, and they didn't help me. I was still depressed. I still had low mood. Still very anxious. And also, yeah, really, really, really difficult time. And then basically, um, I experienced really severe paranoia to the point where I was like lashing out and getting angry in public, um, and thinking certain things. Um, yeah, so um, it was a really difficult time. I was having like delusions basically, and yeah, I was feeling very aggressive towards people because I felt that basically I smelt. I had a fear around smell basically, and I felt that people didn't want to be around me. And every time they coughed or covered their noses, I thought it was about me. Um, so yeah, it wasn't a good time at all, really. Um, and family didn't really understand at all, to be honest with you. Um, yeah, not good. Um, and yeah, I ended up going through 3 or 4 different psychiatrists, and then went on to something called antipsychotics, which is basically what they give people who have schizophrenia for paranoia and stuff like that, to stabilize my mood because I was getting aggressive while out in public and not picking fights, but basically confronting people because I thought something, a certain something, and it wasn't true, and it was like a delusion, and it was like I wasn't really rooted in this reality. I was in a different reality, sort of thing, and it caused a lot of problems. So I was put on aripiprazole at 5 milligrams, and then that was gradually increased to 10 milligrams. And I wouldn't say almost immediately, but I would say certainly within a couple of months of trying it, my mood was stabilized. My mood was stable. I wasn't up and down all the time. Um, I was clearer thinking. I wasn't believing certain things that weren't true. I wasn't delusional, basically, and it really helped clear my head, really. The only downside to it was I was drinking a lot of fizzy pop at the time, and they are known to make you put weight on if you don't stick to a clean, healthy diet, which I wasn't. I was drinking fizzy drinks all the time and booze as well. You meant to stay clear of alcohol, but that was another vice of mine, was addiction. Um, that was another problem, really, which came with the territory. So ended up on antipsychotics. I was in and out of work at the time. I couldn't hold down a job because I couldn't sit in an office around people close to me, because I felt that I smelt and no one wanted me around. So that's why I felt kind of isolated in my own head and kind of like I couldn't really function like a normal adult. So yeah, so it's been a long journey, guys, but I've finally got the confidence back. Hopefully start a new job soon. So it's a new chapter for me. And I'm feeling confident. I'm still on medication, which is helping. And I'm just here to tell you guys that things can look up. Even if you're in the dark place, things can get better. And to look up and look for that silver lining, guys, and that light at the end of the tunnel. Things can get better. So don't be dismayed. Things can get better. I would say that if you have struggled with mental health difficulties, first point of call is go to your GP. They probably won't refer you to your community mental health team straight away, but you'll have to pester them, basically, because they're under a lot of pressure to not refer people for whatever reason. So you need to pester them, basically, and do that basically until they see you, basically. And it'll be a long wait for you, but hopefully with the psychiatrist listening to you, you'll be put on the right meds like me. But it's not been plain sailing. I did put a complaint in against someone in the mental health team. I won't mention who it was. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people that work in mental health. Well, not a lot of people, but there's a few people that work in mental health that shouldn't work in mental health. They don't have empathy or compassion, unfortunately, to deal with people that have mental illnesses and stuff like that. It's all right saying, well, if you could do their job, it must be a stressful job. It's like, yes, it must be a stressful job. However, if you don't have compassion, don't work in mental health. So that's just my opinion on that. But anyway, guys, I'll cut this short because it's been 7 minutes of me rambling on. But that's what I've been going through the last couple of years. The last 5-6 years have been pretty difficult. But I'm coming out the other side, guys. And I've got a job lined up, and the podcast is going okay, guys. I think I'm publicising it the best I can across all the different social media platforms. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe across all our channels, guys. And I appreciate your support, your ongoing support. You guys take care. Bye bye for now.